Welcome to the Poetry Lovers channel. Some lyrics are so good they deserve to be treated as poetry by themselves. In Series 2 I'm going to treat music like it's poetry and ask, what techniques does the songwriter use to influence the listener? What makes the lyrics work? In this episode I'm going to look at two lyrics by Roger Waters. The first is the track Wish You Were Here, released on the album of the same name in 1975. So you think you can tell, heaven from hell, blue skies from pain? Can you tell a green field from a cold steel rail? A smile from a veil? Do you think you can tell? In the first verse, Waters appears to be asking himself, can you tell the difference between good and bad, heaven and hell, truth and falsity? With the line, a smile from a veil, we get a sense of unease or perhaps cynicism from the songwriter. The lyrics are pared back and deceptively simple. Most of the words are just one syllable. But notice how each line contributes to a building of emotional intensity, which doesn't get resolved until the end of the second verse. With each question Waters asks himself, the sense of desperation increases, and he cleverly leaves us hanging at the end of the verse with a question hanging in space. Do you think you can tell? And moving on, did they get you to trade your heroes for ghosts, hot ashes for trees, hot air for a cool breeze, cold comfort for change? And did you exchange a walk-on part in the war for a lead role in a cage? I think the last four lines were open to multiple interpretations. They seem to narrate Waters' bad experiences in the music industry, where he felt he was exploited by corporate suits. Did they get you to trade your heroes for ghosts? And the walk-on part in the war may be a reference to Waters' father, who died at the Battle of Anzio in 1944. Waters seems to be comparing his father's heroic role in the war with what he felt was an enslaving job in the music industry. And did you exchange a walk-on part in the war with a lead role in a cage? How I wish you were here. We're just two lost souls swimming in a fishbowl, year after year. These lines feel like someone calling out. Waters is longing for someone, but we can only guess who it might be, possibly Syd Barrett or a lover or his wife. The two greatest lines have such lyrical economy, but couldn't be more powerful. They summarise the sense of futility people often feel in their jobs and their lives. We're just two lost souls swimming in a fishbowl. The feeling of swimming in circles without end. Yet at the same time there's a link between the two lost souls, which makes the verse even more relatable. Notice also that the words themselves, spoken out loud, have a kind of internal tension, which adds to the mood. The words soul and bowl have a distinct sound. They give a sense of words blurted out. Running over the same old ground, what have we found? The same old fears, wish you were here. And the whole song is built to the killer blow. What have we found? The same old fears, wish you were here. The longing for a loved one and sense of lost time. It might be useful to make a comparison between this song and A Case of You by Joni Mitchell. Both songs deal with longing, but approach it in quite different ways. In A Case of You, we know the songwriter is missing her lover, but the narrative is quite romantic and less cynical. I remember that time you told me, you said, love is touching souls. Surely you touched mine, because part of you pours out of me in these lines from time to time. The only sense of disillusionment we get is in the first verse, where the couple are bickering. Just before our love got lost, you said, I am as constant as a northern star. And I said, constantly in the darkness, where's that at? If you want me, I'll be in the bar. But with Waters, we feel an altogether darker, a more visceral kind of longing. A longing tainted by a lifetime of disappointment and the sickness of heart brought about by working in the music industry. Stylistically, Joni's approach is a conversation between two people, whereas Waters seems to be talking to himself for the first two verses. Joni's references tend to be more painterly, stars and paintings and holy wine, and her lines of verse ebb and flow. Waters' references are harsher, like the lives of post-war workers, cold steel rails and ashes. Harshness is reflected in the deliberate sparseness of his language, and the insistent questioning of the lyrics mirrors the drudgery of everyday life. So we can see from the comparison of Joni and Roger's work that the choice of narrative voice, rhythm, vocabulary and references has a great influence on the way a lyric in a song is interpreted by the audience. For our second lyric, let's look at Another Brick in the Wall from 1979's The Wall album. The song is split into 3 parts within an album whose main concept is isolation. The narrative follows the life of the main character, Pink. Part 1 is a tantalising introduction to the wall. Daddy's flown across the ocean, leaving just a memory, a snapshot in the family album. Daddy, what else did you leave for me? Daddy, what'd you leave behind for me? All in all, it was just a brick in the wall. All in all, it was all just bricks in the wall. Daddy's flown across the ocean. Another reference to Waters' father's active service in World War II, seen through the eyes of the character Pink. The loss of his father was a defining event in Roger Waters' life, and arguably an inspiration for his musical career. The hole left in his young life led him to question his existence. Daddy, what'd you leave behind for me? All in all, it was just a brick in the wall. But we don't know yet what the wall is. Part 2 is the famous single release with Dave Gilmour's soaring guitar solo and a children's choir. It's really a chorus sung twice, made doubly powerful by switching to London school kids singing the second chorus. It shows Pink's reaction of his childhood education. We don't need no education, we don't need no thought control. No dark sarcasm in the classroom, teacher, leave them kids alone. Hey teacher, leave them kids alone. All in all, it's just another brick in the wall. All in all, you're just another brick in the wall. Immediately in the first line, a mood and a narrative voice is created. We don't need no education. This is the sound of the uneducated mass of children with double negatives, insisting they've had enough. Dark sarcasm in the classroom. Along with the phenomenal delivery of Waters and Gilmour, this line is chilling. Notice the assonance of the vowels in dark, sarcasm and classroom. Dark and the first syllable of sarcasm also rhyme. Again, this is the voice of the uneducated. Teacher, leave them kids alone, not teacher, leave those kids alone. All in all, it's just another brick in the wall. All in all, you're just another brick in the wall. So it seems that Waters' experience at school was another brick in the wall. But who is the you who's a brick in the wall? Is it the teacher? So we're developing the idea that negative experiences in Waters' life are building a wall that separates him from something. Fascinating that Waters chose to use the voice of the masses, the we, in this lyric. Because whilst rejecting conformity, they're simultaneously communicating in a highly regimented way. Have they simply exchanged one form of control for another? Is Waters hiding a question about power and its rejection here? In part 3, Pink has learned of his wife's infidelity, leading to his final rejection of the world. I don't need no arms around me, and I don't need no drugs to calm me. I have seen the writing on the wall, don't think I need anything at all. Nah, don't think I'll need anything at all. Finally, we see that the bricks in the wall that separates Pink from the world is built from the litany of negative experiences he's had since childhood and the people that caused them. All in all, it was just bricks in the wall. All in all, you were all just bricks in the wall. Okay, that's it for this week. Let me know in the comments if you'd like me to cover any other lyricists. It doesn't matter which genre, as long as it's something that has meaning for you and that moves you. And see you next time.